Well, good morning, Mr. Keefe here with another quick technology update for you. Today, I'm going to go over 5 quick tips and tricks that will help you in the classroom with both your iPad and your MacBook. The first one is Finder actions on your iPad. Now, what this is, as I go to my iPad here, we all have students that just move their apps everywhere and we have no clue where to find something. So I'm going to show you a quick way that you can find an app. So basically, you need to pick any app, it doesn't matter, and you're going to just kind of select it and drag down, which brings up this search bar. Now, the search bar, it's called Spotlight. When you're using the search bar, you can just search for anything. So I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to start typing in Keynote, and there it shows up. So again, what you're going to do, and I'll show you here to see how my hand is doing this. I'm just going to kind of swipe down, which brings that up, and then you can use it. Now, one other fun little thing with this is it's a built-in calculator. So if I really needed to do 4 times 5, it'll put it up there at the top. Or if we did 20 divided by 5, it'll give us the 4. Same thing works with plus and minus. Now, the next tip that I have for you is actually the Do Not Disturb button on the iPad. I don't know about you, but many times when I'm presenting, when I'm putting something up on the screen, sharing my screen, I don't necessarily want to get a whole bunch of notifications and things to pop up. So the way to do that, you're going to go to the top right hand of the screen. So again, the top right, which is above the battery percentage, and where you're going to pull down. On here, you will see a half moon. This half moon is the one that you would select. It is purple on mine. And again, it's this one right here, that half moon. And if I turn it off, that tells me that Do Not Disturb is off. But if I turn it back on, it goes ahead and turns it on. What that does is it prevents any notifications from coming on the screen when it is locked. In order to set it so that there's no notifications when the iPad is unlocked, we need to make sure to go into our settings, and then you want to go down to the Do Not Disturb. And from here, you will see that there are a few different options. The Do Not Disturb, you can actually schedule it from certain times if you don't want your iPad to go off during maybe if you bring it home and you don't want it to go off when you're sleeping. But then also where it says silence. Well, it's silence while iPad is locked. So right now my iPad won't do anything while it's locked. However, if I do the always, then that tells me right at the bottom that incoming calls notifications will be silenced while iPad is either locked or unlocked. So that one allows no notifications to come through at all. So you want to make sure that that one is selected, not just the while iPad is locked. Now for this next one, I am going to actually switch over to my MacBook screen because this one is the same thing as the last one, but on the MacBook. This one's called Do Not Disturb again, but this one is for the macOS. So I'm going to actually share my desktop to be able to show this to you. And I'm going to share my entire screen. And now you'll see the program I'm using. There's my iPad again. But in order to do this, we actually want to go up to these 2 little arrows, little sliders right up here. I don't know if you can see it. I'll highlight it in the recorded video. But once I click on that, then I have another Do Not Disturb button. And if I unclick it, it's going to show up. So you can see there's a text message I just got. There's my a different notification. But if I turn it back on, it goes away. And you'll see this little arrow here, which allows me to set it for a certain amount of time, but then also change my notification preferences, which brings up the settings of the MacBook. And again, it says Do Not Disturb, and it gives me a couple of different options here that you can use. So it's kind of a cool little feature there. Now, the next one that I want to go over is actually the spotlight for macOS. So like I showed you on the iPadOS, this one is on the macOS. So I'm going to go back to my screen and whoops, there we go. And on here, what you want to do is on your keyboard, you're going to actually press Command Space. When you press Command Space, it brings up the Spotlight search. And just like on the iPad, if you're wanting to find an app like Keynote, you can just start typing it. It's going to bring it up and hit enter. Now, also, if you have a file that you want to find, you can just start searching it there. Or I do believe if I was to do 4 times 5, it does use a calculator and gives it to me as a calculator. So it's a very powerful little search program, especially if you're trying to find something in particular. Now, the last one is going to be both on macOS and on the iPad OS like we've been doing. But this one is to free up your storage. Now, with coming back to in-person learning after being on distance learning, remote learning, whatever we're going to call it learning, our iPads might be really, really full with videos and a bunch of different stuff. So I'm going to show you how we can actually clear some of that stuff up and where you can go to find the information that you might want to clear up. So I'm going to go over and we're going to do this on the macOS first since I still have it selected. And when you're in any program, you could just go up to the Apple. You want to go to About This Mac. And then you want to go over to where it says storage. Now you'll see it's going to calculate and it's going to tell me right now that I have 209 gigabytes of the available 500 gigabytes. If I wanted to go in and check this and see where the storage is being used, I could just click on Manage and it'll bring up a bunch of different options that you can do to store things in iCloud, optimize storage, and so on. And then on the left-hand side, it tells me exactly what is using up so much data. Now on the iPad, now I'm just going to go ahead and actually just switch over here. It is going to be in your settings, and we would go down to General. And on here, it is going to be under iPad storage. Now you'll see on here that I have 29.3 of 32 used. So if I want to go in and see exactly where it's at, it's actually all just right here. And it's telling me that my OneNote has 8.73 gigabytes. Now that's a lot of data there. So if I want to go through and clear that out, I could. I would just need to go into it. And I could just delete the app. It would remove the data, but I don't want to do that. But I could open up OneNote and close out any of those open notebooks that I don't want to have open anymore and clear up some space. Spark Video has a bunch, iMovie. Those are going to be the bulk of your data that you're using is going to be in video. Now, one last thing in settings that I want to show you. If you cannot find a certain setting on the left-hand side, if you just pull down, you will see a search bar up here. Now, that's a quick little Easter egg, a quick little sixth tip there for you, but I figured I would show you because you might want to see that. But I do appreciate it. This has been 5 quick tips, or 6, however you want to say it. If you have any questions, want me to go over this again, or you want in-person learning, great, please come down to the swamp. I will be glad to help you out. And remember, as always, it's great to be a Gator.